Hello. Have you ever gazed longingly at those sprawling kitchen gardens overflowing with herbs and vegetables and thought, oh, if only I had the space? Well, let me tell you, you don't need acres of land to cultivate your own little corner of earthly delights. Today, we're going to transform that bijou balcony or petite patio into a thriving, abundant haven. Tight on space? Don't just grow, combine. Let's stack and pair our way to a high-yield garden bursting with flavor and fragrance. Just imagine stepping out your door and snipping fresh basil for your pasta, plucking juicy cherry tomatoes still warm from the sun, all within arm's reach. Are you ready? Let's get our hands delightfully dirty. Now, gardening is so much like life, wouldn't you agree? It's all about relationships. And just like we flourish in the company of good friends, certain plants simply adore each other's company. Take our dear friend basil, for instance. Not only does it lend its intoxicating aroma to our dishes, but it acts as a natural deterrent to those pesky little creatures that might fancy a nibble on our precious tomatoes. It's a match made in horticultural heaven. And speaking of tomatoes, have you ever noticed how their leafy foliage can cast quite a shadow? Well, let's put that shade to good use. Tuck in some cool-loving lettuce or spinach beneath and watch them thrive in that dappled sunlight. Think of it as creating a little microclimate, a harmonious ecosystem where each plant supports and nurtures the other. Carrots, for example, with their feathery foliage, provide a bit of shade for radishes, keeping their roots cool and crisp. And let's not forget about the flowers. Marigolds, with their vibrant hues, are like the life of the party, attracting beneficial insects that help with pollination and keep those unwanted guests at bay. Remember, it's all about working with nature, not against it. By choosing compatible companions, we're creating a symphony of flavors and textures, all while maximizing our space. Now let's talk levels, shall we? Just like a perfectly constructed cake, our garden will have tiers of deliciousness. We're going to think vertically and make the most of every inch of space. Imagine, if you will, a sunny shelf bathed in golden light. This, my friends, is prime real estate for our sun-worshipping friends. Think tomatoes reaching for the sky, peppers basking in the warmth, and perhaps a trailing rosemary cascading down the side. A step below, where the sunlight might be a tad gentler, will create a haven for our leafy greens. Lettuces, spinach, even a pot of parsley will revel in this slightly cooler environment. And for those bottom dwellers who prefer a bit of shade, well, we haven't forgotten about them. This is where our mushrooms will feel right at home, tucked away in their cool, damp haven. You see, it's all about understanding the needs of each plant and finding its perfect niche. By layering our plants according to their light requirements, we're creating a multi-level feast for the eyes and the palate. Now let's talk about reaching for the sky. Just because we're gardening in a small space doesn't mean we can't embrace a touch of the dramatic. This is where our climbing friends come into play, and I do love a good trellis moment. Imagine slender beans, their tendrils reaching upwards, clinging to a rustic trellis, their pods heavy with promise. Beneath them, a tray of vibrant lettuces soaks up the dappled sunlight. It's a picture of vertical harmony, wouldn't you say? Cucumbers, with their sprawling vines, are also ideal candidates for a bit of upward mobility. Train them up as sturdy support, and they'll reward you with an abundance of crisp, refreshing fruits. And let's not forget about our cascading beauties, strawberries tumbling over the edge of a hanging basket, their juicy redness a delight to behold, or perhaps a pot of sweet peas, their delicate fragrance filling the air. Remember, vertical gardening isn't just practical, it's an opportunity to add height and interest to our small space havens. So let's embrace the art of the climb and create a garden that reaches for the stars. Now, let's talk about keeping things fresh and exciting, shall we? Just like our wardrobes, our gardens can benefit from a bit of seasonal rotation, and who doesn't love a bit of variety on their plate? This is where our fast-growing friends come in handy. Think of them as the quick change artists of the garden, ready to fill any gaps and provide a continuous supply of deliciousness. Radishes, for example, are like little bursts of peppery flavor, ready to harvest in just a few short weeks. Tuck them in between your slower growing vegetables and you'll have a constant supply of crunchy goodness. Mustard greens with their spicy kick are another fantastic option. They thrive in cooler weather and can be sown directly into the ground or in containers. And let's not forget about our leafy friends. Spinach and lettuce are incredibly versatile and can be grown almost year-round in some climates. Sow a new batch every few weeks, and you'll have a constant supply of fresh salad greens. Remember, gardening is an ongoing dance, a constant ebb and flow of planting and harvesting. By incorporating fast-growing crops into our repertoire, we can ensure a continuous bounty from our small space havens. Now, let's talk about bringing a touch of ingenuity to our small space gardens. Who says we can't have it all? Flexibility, mobility, and of course an abundance of deliciousness. This, my friends, is where the magic of modular gardening comes in. Imagine, if you will, a series of mobile modules, each one a self-contained ecosystem of flavor. Perhaps a sunny spot for your tomatoes and basil, a shadier nook for your lettuce and spinach, and a dedicated haven for your herbs. These modules can be as simple or as elaborate as you like. Think repurposed wooden crates, stacked pallets, even old tires given a new lease on life. The key is to create units that are easy to move and rearrange as needed. This way, as the sun shifts throughout the day and the seasons change, you can chase the light and create the optimal growing conditions for each plant. Need to make room for a new addition? Simply rearrange your modules. And when it comes time to replant, it's as easy as lifting out one module and replacing it with another. No more digging up the entire garden. Modular gardening is all about working smarter, not harder. It's about embracing flexibility and creating a garden that adapts to your needs, not the other way around. So there you have it. We've transformed that once compact space into a thriving, abundant haven, haven't we? Remember that before picture, that feeling of if only. Look at us now. By pairing, stacking and rotating plants smartly, you don't need more space, just better strategy. And a little bit of love, of course. Because that's what truly makes a garden flourish, wouldn't you agree? Now go forth and create your own small space wonders. I can't wait to hear all about your gardening adventures. Until next time, happy growing.